You know, I've been thinking about students of the keyboard, and I'm not talking about the acoustic piano, uh, like a grand piano or concert grand piano. I'm just talking about the keyboard itself. The uh, the keyboard, the electronic keyboard is a very good instrument. It offers you you know enormous opportunities to create music that you like, that you want to play, whatever styles of whatever style of music you want to play using your electronic keyboard, then you might be able to play it. The only thing that I well, there are some students learning how to play the 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 keyboard that rely solely only on the automatic chords of their keyboards to play chords. So if you do that, then you will not know how to play chords on your own. You will not know how to create your own chords on the keyboard, because if you always rely on the automatic chords of your keyboards, then you're going to be limited in how to play on your own. That's why my advice to the keyboard, to the students of the keyboard, is to learn chords, basically. Okay, use the keyboard to learn chords. Know how to build your chords. Okay, not you should not depend on the automatic. Uh, I think they call them preset chords, all that stuff. Yes, sometimes, of course, you can use them, depending on the circumstances. But you need to know, you need to learn your chords. You need to have knowledge of the chords on your on you can play on the keyboard. You know, um, my advice to you, students of the keyboard, is to learn how to play chords on your own. Okay, I know the piano students. They're learning on the piano. Let's see, for example, the grand piano, the concert grand. They have no choice to learn to play, to play chords on their own, because on the grand piano, it's acoustic. It's analog. It's not digital. So they have no choice to learn how to create chords, how to play their own chords, as opposed to depend on depending on automatic play of the keyboards. So the piano students, of course, they know how to build chords. They know, most of them most of them know a lot about music theory, They know about the scales, and they know about how to build chords on the on the piano. But the a lot of I'm not saying all of the students owning or learning uh, on electronic keyboards. I'm not saying all of them depend on the automatic chords of the capability of the to play chords on the keyboard, but some of them, quite a few of them, they don't learn the chords because they rely so much on the keyboards to play the chord for them. My advice to you is to learn the chords. I'm going to give you a trick how you can learn chords on the keyboard or on a piano or on an organ. The best way to, well, one of the, I'm not saying the best ways, but one of the good ways you can learn chords on the keyboard is to take one chord like a triad, okay, and then use learn different types of the same chords, okay. Like if you, for example, if you're playing C major triad, okay, that C major triad I just played right there. That's a type of that's a type of a C chord, C major chord. So from a right here, okay. Well, let me repeat that. You can take one chord like a C major chord, C major triad, and you learn different types of the same chords, okay. And you can do it for any major triad you play. But for you to make it easy for you to do so, you need to know how to build a major scale, for example. Okay, and you need also you need to know also that each note of a major scale has a number attached to it. Because when you start adding note to your simple triad, which is a simple C major triad, now to build a more interesting chord, you're going to add to the triad. You're going to add more notes, extensions to the triad. So, but you're going to you're going to use numbers, okay? At numbers related to the numbers to the note numbers in the major scale. You okay to know what kind of chord, what kind of extension you're using to you adding to the major triad. Is it a six? Is it a nine? Is it an 11? Is it a sharp 11? Is it so stuff like that. So you need to know the numbers, okay? But first of all, you need to learn how to play major scale, the major scales on the keyboard, okay? Uh, uh, in all in all 12 keys, okay? So that would help you a lot in in building your chords, your triad, okay? So uh, this video is about just that, advising. I'm advising my friends and fans that have been in touch with me in the subject of music to learn the chords, to learn how to play chords, to build your own chords on the keyboard, as opposed to relying solely on the automatic play of your electronic keyboards. So the trick, let me give you this trick to practice chords on the keyboard. You know, first of all, a chord is, you play a chord when you play more than one notes at the same time. Not arpeggio. This is arpeggio. Okay, this is arpeggio. Arpeggio is when you play single notes. When you play the single notes of a chord one at a time, right? That's a C major triad, but I play one note at a time. That's arpeggio. But if I play all three notes together, that's a chord. This is, since I play three notes right here, that's a triad. But a triad can be labeled a major triad, or it can be labeled a minor triad, and so on. Okay, so when you build a chord on the keyboard, it's you using intervals. Okay, intervals are the distances between the notes. Okay, an interval is a distance between two notes. Okay, so if I play C and in D, C, the distance between C and D is an interval. Okay, but they have names. Okay, D is the second note in the C major scale. Of course, because it is the second note, but I can call it an interval of a second. But what kind of interval of second it is, that's another story. That's something that if I try to explain it to you right now, the video will be too long. I think maybe you already understand what an interval is, but there's a chance that I might post the video about it in the future so you understand. Okay, so this is this is a trick. This is a trick. One of the tricks you can use to learn different type of the same chords. Let's say you're playing C major triad. I'm gonna play in the bass here. What I'm gonna play in the bass, that means I'm gonna play below middle C. Okay, this is major triad. This is the chord. Okay. Now I'm using the middle C to play, in the middle of right in the middle of the keyboard. Okay, so there you go. Or I can play even higher, same triad, C, E, G. I don't have to play way down here, but I'm going to do it anyway. Okay. Now that's one type of the C chord, but there are many types of C, of the C. There are many types of C chords. The C major triad here is just one type. which is major, which is C major. Okay, that's just one type. But from here you can make other type of the C chord, of the C triad. For example, if you can make it a minor triad, how are you going to do that? Well, since you have your three chords, your three notes for the C chord, for the C major triad is C, E, and G. Now, if the E, you have to really you have to keep in your mind. You have to, you have to focus always on the third degree of a chord, because the third degree, the third note of a major chord, of a major triad, can change the sound dramatically. Well, not dramatically, but you can change the type of chord just by using just by changing the third note of the major triad, in this case C major triad, and the third note is E. So if you want to make it minor, you just lower the third note of the C major chord, major triad, half step to get it to play E flat, and then you just have another type of the same C chord, which is now C minor. That's a C minor. That's now you play major type. Now you play the minor type. You can still play other types of the same C chord. Okay, and I'm not going to talk about intervals now, because I can tell you in the C major triad you have let's see, you have from C to E, it's a major third. Okay, and from let's see, and then from E to from E, and from E to G, it's a minor third. Okay, so I just looked at it. You don't have to remember these things if you are playing if you are looking at the keys on the keyboard. You just can go and look at it. So okay, from C to E is going to major the interval. The interval name is a major third, and from E to G the interval name is a minor third. And one of these days I will explain to you why they are called, they have those names, those different names. Okay, but now let's go back and practice our tricks of playing different types of the same chords. Okay, now I play C major triad, C, E, G, and I'm going to play the minor type, C minor, C, E flat, and G. Okay, now if I lower the fifth of the C major triad, one half step, that would be G, right? If I lower that note half step to play G flat, okay, then I would have, lower that's part of the triad. That is part of the C major triad. But I'm going to, instead of playing G, I'm going to lower it one half step, make it G flat. And what I'm going to get, I'm going to get another type of the C chord, of the C triad. Okay, so okay, there you go. The okay. This is C major triad, C minor triad, because I lowered the third, and if I lower the fifth also, I get C diminished. Okay? You see? Alright. Okay? Now, what if I, instead of lowering the fifth, which is G of the triad, of the C major triad, what if I raise it if a half step, instead of lowering it a half step? Okay, now let's go back to the C triad. That's C, E, G. Now instead of playing instead of playing the G, I'm going to play G sharp, which is a half step above G. Okay, that's a half step. That the black note, that's the sharp. You know, right after G, right after the G note, that's sharp. So now I'm going to raise the fifth, which is G of the C major triad, a half step, and I'm going to get what? I'm going to get, all right, let's do it. Okay. You hear it? G sharp. Now you have C augmented. Okay? Another type of the C chord just right here. Okay? Now we can play another type of the C chord, which is the C major seventh chord. When we talk about C major seventh chord, that means to the triad we're going to add the seventh note of the C of the major scale, in this case of the C major scale. You're going to play C major seventh if you're going to play C major seventh, then you're going to have to play the triad. Then to the triad you add another note, which is going to be the seventh note of the C major scale, which is B. This is B. Okay, then all I got to do, play my triad, C, E, G, and add the seventh note of the C major scale, which is B. And I have my C major chord. Okay, there you go. Of course, there in some keyboards, in some electronic keyboards, you can just press a key on the keyboard and then maybe a combination of two, I don't know. Then you can play, if you will be able to play the C major 7 chord, but you would not know how that major chord, you would not know the structure of that chord. You would not know what notes are in the chord. But now, by looking at the keyboard and you playing that chord yourself, okay, you can see the notes you're playing. You can see the triad the triads you're playing, and you can see the extension that you are adding to those triads. Okay, C major chord, C major 7 chord. Okay, and you know how then you're going to learn that chords are made chords are made of in a series of interval of third. Interval of third could be a combination of interval of third and I would say interval of a combination of interval of third, which could be, for example, interval of major third and interval of minor third. Okay, for example, the C triad is made of a major third followed by a minor third. That's something I will tackle in future videos. Now we're going to play another type of the same C chord. We're going to play the C dominant 7th chord. Well, how are we going to do that? We're going to play our regular C triad. That's it. We're still playing the same type of chord. The only thing we're doing, we're adding notes we're adding notes to the triad. So now we're going to play we're going to play the dominant 7 type C chord. How are we going to do this? Okay, every time you hear dominant 7th, think of flat 7th of the major scale. So we're going to add to the triad, to the C major triad, the flat 7th of the major scale in order to have C dominant 7th chord. Okay? 4 notes. So 4 notes. So let's play our triad. C. Okay, what are we missing now? We're missing one note to make it a dominant 7th. We are missing missing the flat 7. What is the flat 7 in the key of C major? It's B flat. So we add the B flat to the triad. That's the C dominant 7th type chords of the same C triad. Okay, I know you understand that. Now, we just played C dominant 7. Okay? C dominant 7th chord. Okay? Okay? That's C dominant 7th chord. Okay. Maybe we can make it C minor 7th chord. Okay. I think we can do that. Just make it a C minor 7th chord. We have everything we need here to make it a C minor 7th chord. All we need to do to make it minor is to lower the third of the chord, lower it a half step to play E flat. Okay, let's do that then. All right, E flat, and we play all the other notes. We just play our C minor 7 type chords right here, and we're still using the Triad, C major Triad. Okay, that's the trick I'm telling you about. You can learn different types of chords of the same chord. Okay, at one time. Okay, now we just play C minor 7, and oh yeah, C. We play C dominant 7. We play C minor 7. All right. Now, yeah, there are more. You know, there are more types we can play. More types of chords of the C chords we can play. Now let's go back to the C minor 7. Okay. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Now, what if I lower the fifth of the chord of the C minor 7? I'm playing C minor 7th chord right now, which includes the G note, which is the fifth. So if I lower the fifth of the C minor 7th chord a half step, which is G. Now I'm going to play G flat. Okay, so right there, you see, right there I have another type of chord, because I have another type, a note type of the C chord, because I just lowered the fifth of the chord, or using, well, right now I remember I was playing C minor 7th chord, and from there I lowered the fifth, which is G, and I got G flat, and now I have a C minor 7 flat 5. Sounding chord. Okay, so C minor 7 flat 5. So if you look at the intervals between the notes in the C minor 7 flat 5, you got, let's see, you got from C to E flat, you got a minor third. And from E flat to G flat, you got another minor third, and from G flat to B flat, you got a major third. So you can safely say that in a minor 7th chord, you have, let's see, you have two minor third and a major third, okay? Intervals. I'm talking about intervals, okay? So that's why this chord has another name. The other name for the minor 7th, the other name for a minor 7th type chord is half diminished, because A diminished chord has 3 minor third on top. Well, yeah, a diminished chord, well, let me put it this way. A diminished seventh chord has 3 minor thirds, one on top of each other. So if we play C minor 7 flat 5, let's do it again. We have 2 minor third and a major third. That means if we lower the flat 7 of D, if we lower the flat 7th of the C minor 7 flat 5 chord, which we call a half diminished chord, if we lower that flat 7 another half step, which I will call it double flat, so then we got 3 minor thirds, one on top of each other, which gives you a diminished 7th chord, right? So now we have C diminished 7th. It's not C diminished. C diminished is when you have C and you have E flat and you have a G flat. But when you add when you add the A to it, when you add a flat 7, you have C minus 7 flat 5, and when you lower the flat 7 half step, then you have the C. I'm going to call it C diminished 7. And again, of the same C type chords. This is just another C type chord. Okay? Now, what about if you play C augmented, what I showed you earlier, sharp 5, which is a G. Okay. Okay, if you think about it, you can play a C augmented dominant chord. You can play a C augmented dominant chord. All you have to do is add. You need to add just add the flat 7th of the C major scale to the augmented triad. And what is the flat 7? It's B flat. Then all you need to do is to play C, E, G sharp, and B flat, and you have your C dominant 7 augmented. Okay? Alright, so that's another type of the same C chord. Right? Now, what if you want to play something called another type of chord, which is C suspended 4. Okay, let's go back to the C major triad. C, E, G. Okay. Now remember I told you to remember that I told you you have to use numbers. Okay. Related to the notes on the keyboard. Okay. So I'm gonna let me give you an example. Let me give you an example why you need to do that. Now I'm gonna play. I want to play C suspended 4. You see, I say 4. I didn't say. I didn't mention any. I did not mention any particular note on the keyboard. I just said C suspended 4. Now it's you. You need to count the your keys from 1, which is C, and count up to see where 4 is, so you can play your C suspended chord. C suspended 4 chord. So I'm going to count from the C, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 4 I get. When I get to 4, what I get F. So for my triad, instead of playing E as the third, since I'm going to play suspended 4, I'm not going to play the E, the third, anymore. Now I'm going to play the fourth instead, which is F. There you go. I just add 4, and I eliminated the third because I don't want it anymore, because it's so close to the E anyway, half step. So now I added the fourth degree of the note. Okay, forget the third, the E. So I got, okay. That's a very nice chord. I really like to play suspended chord. Not only 4, you got other suspended chord, suspended 2, So, but this is a very very good sound, because it adds tension to the chord. That means it's unstable. It wants to move on. He wants that chord wants to resolve to another chord, which is more stable. That create tension and movement. Okay, that's a very nice chord. C suspended. Well, suspended 4 chord. Right? Okay, maybe you can make it a C suspended 7 chord. Well, you already have your suspended chord. Try it, which is C, F, and G. You already know how to make a chord dominant. Is where you have to use the flat 7th of the major scale. The flat 7 for in the key of C, B flat. So all I got to do, add B flat to my suspended chord. Oh, sorry. Okay. Now, since I added flat B to the suspended triad, now I have C suspended 7th chord. Okay. B flat. Okay, that was C suspended for C dominant 7 sus 4, suspended for sus 4. Okay, what about another type of the C chord? Okay, what about C major 6? every time I say C major, I just want to make a difference between, well, not only C major. Well, if I say major seventh, that means I want to make a difference between minor seventh, okay, or just major. If I say C major, that's just the triad, okay, C major triad. If I say C major seventh, that means I need to add the seventh of the scale to my triad. I say major. Now, if I lower the third, I'm going to say it's going to be minor, of course. So now, what if I add, because you have 7 notes, you have 7 notes in the scale. So what if I decide, okay, I got my C major triad. Okay, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm playing a chord with 1, 3, 5. Okay, if I want to add 6, okay, let's do it. We're going to add the sixth note of the scale to our triad. Okay, C triad, C major triad. Okay, there we are. That's A. I added A. Okay, so there you go. Okay, now you have C major 6. C major 6. Oh, if you want, you can even say C major 13. Okay, because when you add extension, you're thinking about adding extension in octave. Okay, so if you add 6, note number 6 to a chord, you're actually thinking about the number 6 in octave, which is 7 plus, because you have 7 notes in the major scale. Now if I add 6 and I want to call it a 13, I need to take the number 7 plus 6 and then give me the 13. If I play 2, if I add 2 to my triad, and I need to be thinking in octave to add it as an extension, so I'm going to take because, like, once again, the scale has 7 notes. So I take number 7 plus 2 that I added, make it 9. So instead of 2, it's going to be 9. Okay, so I'm adding 6 here plus 7. That's actually a 13. But you would not be wrong if you also say, you would not be wrong if you also said 6. C major 6 or C major 13, whichever you prefer. Okay, what about making it another type of the same C chord, minor 6, C minor 6? You lower the third half step, E flat. You see, so far I'm playing all those chords. I'm still playing in C. I have not changed the root of the chord. I'm still in C, but I'm practicing at one moment in time right now. Various different versions, different types of the C chord. Okay. Okay, now we just play the C. We play the C major 6. We play the C minor 6. You can even make it more complex. You can play C major. You can play You can play, for example, play C minor, the C minor chord. Then you play the C. Okay, you play the C minor chord, and then you play the seventh, which is B of the chord. You hear that? You hear the you hear that that sound which stands out. You know, it stands out. So it's gonna be okay. Since you play the flat third and you play the major seventh, which is the seventh degree of the C major scale. So now you're playing C minor major seventh. We're gonna play one more to make it even more complex. Let's play, for example, C augmented, which is E, no, not E, C, E, sharp, G sharp, and then now we're gonna play the seventh. See, we play C sharp. No, that's it. We play C augmented, okay, which is that means we play G sharp as the sharp, sharp 5, and then we play this seventh degree of the C major scale, which is B, and then now we have C augmented major 7, okay. So my point is, if you play the acoustic piano, if that's what you play, the grand piano, concert grand piano, I know for a fact you playing your own chords, you're making your own chords. But if you play only electronic keyboards, you may have the tendency to let the keyboard play your chords for you. What I'm telling you, well, those are tools. Whatever help you can get from your electronic keyboards, that's okay. Sometimes you're gonna need to do some. You might want to make some music, add some, put some kind of effects to your music, stuff like that. That's a good tool for you. But when it comes to learning chord theory, that's what you need to do. You cannot depend on the keyboard to always play chords for you. You need to learn how to play your chords. You need to know about you need to study about intervals. You need to study about different types of chords and so on. So that's my point. I'm not criticizing. I'm just giving you a piece of advice. So in the long run, you can learn more. You can, you can learn more and then be on your own. So that you don't have to depend on automatic playing of the electronic keyboards all the time. That's all. So I hope we had a nice, productive conversation, and I hope to see you in another session of my music. I would say chat.